Hey everybody, it's me, Sean, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play series. That's right, it's Surviving Mars. I have been fortunate enough to get access to this game before release. It comes out in 9 days after this video comes out, March 15th. Be sure to look for it on Steam. I think you can probably put it on your wish list right now. Anyways, this is a new game. I'm really excited about it. I'm sure you've heard of it. And it is basically a city builder on Mars, and we're going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. Excuse me. I have been fortunate enough to be able to play a little bit and kind of get the hang of it, which is good, because it would have been a mess if I had just gotten started while we were recording, because my first colony did not go so well. But I think we're going to be able to do all right. I feel confident enough that we can jump in and do at least a normal difficulty. I think we're going to start with the Europe for our... So you can have different mission sponsors. You know, these ones are all more difficult. Paradox and Russia and that. The medium difficulties would be India, where you get reduced building costs. Space Y, where you start with additional drones and have cheaper advanced resources. Or Europe, where you start with you get 5 extra starting technologies. Now, this doesn't mean you actually get those technologies. It just means you have extra technologies you can research. And you gain funding every time a tech is researched. Now, that right there is the main reason I want Europe, is the gain funding every time a tech is researched, because in the long run, the funding is extremely difficult. So we're going to go with Europe. Our commander profile. So again, each of the different commander profiles have different benefits. Each one starts with its own new technology, and also has different... all funding gains are increased by 20%. That's actually... See, that would be nice, because we'd get even more money if we did it that way. Breakthrough techs. See, this is the one that I like. Breakthrough techs are researched 30% faster, and you start with autonomous sensors, which means sensor towers require no power or maintenance. That's actually a really good one. But this one, the extra funding would be nice. I could really lean into that funding thing. But I think we're still going to go with the futurist, because that is... Oh, start with a rare metal deposit revealed. That's really nice too. And you start with deep scanning, and you get extra extractor production. So the rare metal deposit is basically your way of making money. You know what? We're going to go with this astrogeologist. I like the futurist for those autonomous sensors, but we'll probably be able to research that fairly early, I would hope. And then there's a mystery, which is like your storyline, and there's no... you know, we'll just go with the random one, because I don't really understand what it means. But it tries to keep it different each time, so that way you get new stuff, I guess, through the first 9 of them anyways. And next up, we need to set up our payload. So you start with some prefabricated buildings. We don't have the technology to build drone hubs or any of these things to start with. So we're going to start with a drone hub, a moisture vaporator, which will allow you to get water, and then a fuel refinery, which will allow us to make fuel. We will eventually have to get some of these things, but we don't have room on our current rocket. You can see we have 0 cargo capacity left. We're going to start with an explorer and 6 drones, which is nice. We don't have any rovers, but we'll get one of those on our next rocket. Some polymers, machine parts, electronics, and a few orbital probes. And I guess that is good. So we're going to go ahead and launch our rocket. It gives it a name, but we're going to call it Vanilla Prime. There we go. Great. And let's go ahead and launch that. And now we get to choose our landing spot. So you can see up here the difficulty bonus. Each landing spot has its own levels of difficulty. Now, why is this one more difficult than the other one? Interesting. You'd think that, because I mean it has more metals. You'd think that that would make it less, and like this one has more threats and less stuff, yet it's lower level of difficulty. And of course, you can always just choose your own site if you want. Like here, I don't know if I really want to have meteors. Like I wouldn't mind having dust devils as the threat. Let's just go with a pre-generated site. I don't need to go too difficult yet. I'm not that good at this game. What do we have up here? So cold waves are the big problem there. Here we have meteors. I'm mostly just concerned about the threat levels. I'm guessing that this one, so this one has very few threat levels, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be like super craggly. I did this one. This one's pretty fun, but it has a huge cavern in it, and it just makes for a really weird starting location. So I don't know if I want to. Oh, yeah, I could just find my own location near there, and then we'd have a whole different, so like very few threats, but the metals are so low on that. We definitely need metals. I don't really know what the Dust Devil threat is, to be honest, or the Dust Storm. See, again, you get that. Let's see, no metals on that one either. Alright, you know what? We'll go with this one. Modest threats for meteors and dust devils and lots of resources. So we will give it a start. I could spend all day trying to find a location to start on. You guys don't want to watch that. Enjoy a nice sip of my hot beverage. Alright. Our ship is about to land. So there are our the precious metals. We're going to go ahead and well, we have 3 orbital probes which will instantly reveal a sector, but I'm not going to use those yet because it's pretty fast to scan sectors. What? Why would I scan that sector? I don't need to scan it. I'm already there. Pretty fast to scan sectors, so I'm just going to leave that like it is, and we'll scan these first few sectors manually. There we go. So you see the little shaded area, that's where we'll be unloading stuff too. We're going to plop down, I guess I know the hotkey for this one. We're going to plop down a storage area, universal storage area, and our first rovers and stuff are going to come out of the thing. There we go. So we have our explorer. We do not have anything to explore set up quite yet. First thing we will do is we're going to build a couple of sensor towers, which I guess first thing we need to do is build a solar panel and maybe a battery. Let's see, we're going to have concrete production right here. So concrete kicks up a lot of dust, so I'm going to build some solar panels over here. I'm also going to build a couple of wind machines, whatever. And let's go ahead and turn the speed on. We're going to lay down some cables, and we're going to have to connect up over here to have our concrete thing going. So we'll do that, and then we're going to build a battery as well. And we'll put the battery right there. Should be fine. Very good. And let's turn that speed up. So we've got our little drones driving around, carrying resources, building things. Lots of weird. Oh, you saw a meteor crashing down to the ground there in the background. I suppose I need to. Oh yeah, we got to have active tech. So here's how we start with 5 extra techs. You don't actually start with 5 extra technologies. You just start with the ability to research them. What's this? Deep scanning. I've already researched that. That's right. That's the free one I get. So this will cause more applicants to appear on Earth. That's a good one. This will give me $1 million, which is very good. These subsurface heating is good. When we get colonists, we'll want to research that, but we don't need it quite yet. The ones that are already revealed, the prices will never change, and they're never going to become unavailable, so we can just sit on these for a while. We will want apartments, I think, before we bring anybody in. That would actually be really good. Rockets and shuttles require less fuel. We're going to research that right off the bat. I do not need oxygen production yet. Fungal farm is a pretty good one too, but it's quite intensive. You can see that it requires 5 electronics and 6 people to work it, so it requires a lot of labor. We'll want that fairly soon, but not for our first people. And drone hubs are constructed with additional 2 drones. That's a pretty good one as well. There you go. This one I really like, although maybe not for the like a first technology. So yeah, actually, kind of are going to want to go with these from the get-go. We won't need that one quite yet. I'm going to do the transport. You know, actually, that drone hub is pretty good. Let's do that, that. And I suppose the applicants. All right, great. So there we go. We've got all of our initial research set up. We're doing 400 research per sol, which is basically a day, but it also is a year. You can spend money to increase your research. So I could spend $200 million and I would basically get 1,000 research or enough to research one of these technologies, but we're not going to do that quite yet. There's basically we're going to want to scout kind of our starting area to find a good spot for our initial dome. Now, that's why I wanted to get this revealed precious metals, because these precious metals we can sell back to Earth. And now, why would you scan that one? Yeah, maybe it doesn't start out being scanned. We'll put that on there. Anyways, so now I'll know a better spot to actually. There we go. Let's do 3, 4 like that. I want to have this area scanned out before we, so we can kind of firmly establish where we're going to build it. It would be nice to be able to find some water, because we'll need water. Obviously, that's how you survive. And right now, we're just kind of waiting. So our drones are unloading our ship. Oh, looks like they have already unloaded the ship, so no unloading. And they are gathering iron. Not quite sure why they're not building. Oh, because we don't have concrete yet, of course. So first thing I want to do is build a concrete making machine, and I guess I don't have a hotkey set up for that, but I will just go right there, concrete extractor. So we have our concrete here. This is, oh, too bad, a low grade, so it's not a very good quality concrete. So that means we're going to get a lot of waste rocks off of that, but what are you going to do? Well, it's the only one that we have available. We're going to rotate this to where it is. So we're probably going to end up having two concrete extractors on this batch. So if I do one here, 192, 219, 260, that would kind of eat up the whole thing. How much is in there? 400. Yeah. I mean, no matter how I set it up, the second one, oh, that meteor was close. No matter how I set it up, the second one is going to be much less efficient. In the bit that I've played, I have not run into a meteor actually smashing down onto the onto anything. So that's cool. And this, oh, that's a metal depot, isn't it? That's not what I wanted. I wanted a concrete depot, which I guess I don't have a hotkey for that one, do I? So we're going to build, we're going to go to storages, concrete depot, there we are. We're going to rotate a couple of times and we'll plop it down right there. There we go, concrete depot. So now they'll carry the concrete there. We also need to set up a dump, and I know I have a dump hotkey on here somewhere, dump site, there we go, in. A lot of these hotkeys you have to set up yourself, which, you know, no big deal. Pretty easy to do. So we're going to set up a dump site over here. And that'll allow us to clear, because this creates waste rock. So you see the little blue, it'd be nice if there was a zoom out level further than this one, but you know, there's not. So what are you going to do? But you see the blue border? That is the area that my drones can reach right now. I do have one drone depot prefab that we talked about. I also have a fuel refinery prefab, but I have a drone depot and a moisture evaporator. So I have this drone hub, and then I can set that up, and it will have a similar thing. But that's why I want to scan these out first, because I'm probably going to set the drone hub in here. Although that will leave this area out. But I can handle some of that by bringing in different... as a matter of fact, I may as well order our first cargo rocket, because I have a pretty good idea what we're going to have on this thing. We are going to bring in an additional fuel refinery. I will get I may want a moisture evaporator. It's a little too soon to know whether I'm going to need that or not. But dang, I don't really want to. I'm going to spend the money on it just in case. I'm going to want a second drone hub. We're going to want a rover and a transport. That leaves us 15,000 kilos worth of space. So polymers, machine parts, and electronics are the things that it's hard to get a hold of. So I'm going to do some of each of those. I will drop a electronic, I think, and add a polymer, and then I guess I will bring in, you know what, I would rather bring in like an orbital probe. There you go. Okay, so now we're down to $2.2 million, or $2.2 billion. Let's go ahead and launch, and we will call this the vanilla resupply. Okay, launch. All right, so now we've got our second rocket coming. It'll take about 3 sols to get here. We are already on sol 3. Time flies. And here we've got additional power. We don't really have a whole lot of demand for our power right now, but that will change over time. As a matter of fact, now that I've got power going, I do want to build these sensor towers so I can start scanning nearby sectors. I'm going to up the priority on them because right now getting neighboring sectors scanned is the top priority. And there we go, top speed. So when we look at the map here, so you can see that the buildable area is 66 and the sensor tower boost is 338. And that, like, I don't know if that counts for the sensor towers that I am currently building. It must. Oh, they're already built, so that's why. But you can see the further away you get, the less useful those sensor towers are. So mostly they're good for the adjacent squares, so we'll kind of build sensor towers and tear down old sensor towers as time goes by. There's an anomaly. Anomalies will provide like science boosts and not production boosts, but they'll unlock new technologies. I'm thinking that's what that does because it's got the little key indicator on it. I'm not entirely sure. We have some metals just sitting there, which is a little weird. But that's probably from surface metals that maybe the concrete thing kicked out or something. All right, so we have researched the drone swarm, which is a nice starting technology because that will get us bonus drones with our drone hub, which we'll build before too long. We have opened up low G drive, which is actually a really good one for drones move faster. I think I would rather, actually I'm gonna, how do you do it first? Control, there we go. We're gonna do that one right up front because fast drones will be real nice for everything that we do. It'll, I think it causes our RC units to move faster too, but even if it doesn't, just the drones moving faster will be real big. Right now they're not too busy, but they'll be pretty busy here before too long. And I guess it doesn't take 3 sols for the ship to get here because it's already 3/4 of the way here. All right, anomaly analyzed. New techs are available for research. Productivity training and systematic training are opened now. So there's systematic training, there's productivity training. Those are nice. Oh, look, a quote from Andy Weir from The Martian. Pretty neat. I'm actually reading Andy Weir's second book right now called Artemis, I think is what it's called. It's pretty interesting. It's about like kind of a, what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of a heist on the moon in a lunar colony. It's pretty fun. All right. So we're scanning that. This guy doesn't really have a whole lot to do. We can send him over here to recharge your drones and stuff just by setting them on top of a power cable. They will recharge pretty quickly. All right, so this sector has more concrete and it has some iron available. When we get our here's our second ship landing. So we can set this one to land. Can I have it kind of land over here because it will provide the same sort of. You can't see it from the when you're making the ship land, but it'll provide. Oh, you can see the ship coming down though when we zoom out there. There it is. But it will provide the same working area. But it will only, so each drone is connected to its own little hub. So I don't think we have any drones attached to this one. So what I can do is come over here and I can transfer some of these drones to this ship. But eventually we're going to need to give these guys their own hub. Basically before we have our ship take off, we're going to have to give these guys a hub. Now this is probably a pretty bad spot for me to land because now where am I going to put my dome? Like I might have wanted to put the dome somewhere where the thing is, because when you build your dome, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. But yeah, especially with the terrain, I need to have that little $sign thing within that blue border so they can work it. And right there actually probably be pretty good. But kind of like right where that ship is would be pretty close to the best spot. Oh well, it's you know, let's build a stockpile. This is a kind of a universal stockpile. It'll take 30 of everything. We have our transport guy here. Let's have him pick up that stuff that's just sitting on the ground. And this RC rover serves as a mobile drone hub, so that's pretty handy. These transport units, they can also do surface mining, which is real nice. So all of these metals that we have on the surface, I can pick them up with my RC transport unit. We are producing water already. Why are you telling me that? Yeah, it is too early to place a dome. No duh. That's why I didn't place one. Oh, I guess we're not producing water already. Okay, well, let's start producing water. Now, if we're going to have our dome over here, I might want to actually have more of my production stuff, maybe a little closer to the dome. I mean, honestly, I probably should have set these things up over in here. I didn't, that's one of those things. This over time I'll learn, and it's not tragic that I didn't do that, but it would have been better if I had done it that way. Oh well, like I said, live and learn. So our second concrete thing is probably going to go right around here, so I want to make sure I go around that as I lay down our new cable. And yep, that's fine for now. So let's build our water production. And yeah, we can set that up like that should work out. Great. That means we need to have some pipes. So we'll do pipes right there. And then we have a prefab fuel. Oh, 2 prefab fuel refineries. That's right. So we're going to set those over on this side of the thing. I don't know why I didn't just build both of them. That would have been smarter. We need to blocking objects, huh? Ah, it is weird building on a hex. It's not civilization, but I like it. I like the hex map as opposed to the grid map, but it takes some getting used to. That's for sure. We have 20 1 power production right now. That's during the daytime. It's going to be less during the night, but we do have that battery to store excess power. And we have 1.2 water production. Why is the water production so low for these guys? Does it, no production during dust storms. Oh, lowered when placed near other vaporators. Oh, well, that's too bad I didn't know that. And these are prefab, so I can't undo that. You know, I am actually going to undo that, but I will undo it between episodes. I'm gonna load up the autosave, and yeah. So I'll fix that up between episodes, and I will also do some more scanning, and because there's a lot of kind of waiting around. Like, it's really fun. I love the exploring and stuff, but there's a lot of, it would be a lot of me talking without anything really happening. So I'm going to do a little bit more in between episodes. I will start recording again before anything significant happens. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If this is your first time to my channel, be sure to consider subscribing. I hope you will enjoy a lot. I make all sorts of videos. I like playing all sorts of games. I just started a Software Incorporated Alpha 10 series, if that's your sort of thing. You might want to check that out. I'm playing on hard mode. Yeah, and for everybody else, if you've enjoyed this, click the like button. Be sure to leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. I will see you next time. Bye.